Huh? Here go the key points. The mind and brain are two different entities. Although the mind is separate from the brain, they are what? Interconnected, meaning they are one. We are our mind. Consciousness is a phenomenon of the mind. The mind is energy. It's spiritual, huh? But listen, it says what? Without the mind, the corporality wouldn't have motion. So when we look in the etymon at energy, saying the mind is energy, it says what? Force of expression. Motion is a what? It's an expression, huh? A mind in action is a mind in motion. Motion is what? Motion is expression. And the expression of an entity is called what? Faith is? It's called spirit. When you look in the Owaspy glossary and you go to the word spirit, you pull it up and it says spirit means the expression of a what? Of an entity. For example, how one expresses and what is expressed are the result of the state of the spirit. Huh? We've covered earlier on in the presentation that we are products of the radiant energy, the light of the conscious mind of the great spirit. That was the very first thing that we learned. Energy is what? It's an emission. The emission of energy expression. The emission of energy is expression. Thus, we are all expressions of what? We are all expressions of the great spirit. Remember, the great spirit said this. The great spirit said that its light, its spiritual illumination, its energy, its spirit, its mind is its very self. Does that mean that our conscious mind is our very self also? Okay, well, let's go in the Waspian Acts book of being 125. What does it say? S said, I am within your Kapor. When your Kapor motors into dust, behold, I am the S man. What? The spiritual man. What is the spiritual man? The what? Your real self. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let's read that again. S said, I am within your what? Your Kapor. When your Kapor motors into dust, behold, I am what? The S man, your what? Your real self. I am your spirit. And like a planted seed, I dwell within your Kapor. Huh? What is the connection between your life, spirit, and consciousness? Look at life. Life means animated corporeal substance. That's life. Animated corporeal substance. What is spirit? Spirit is life. You get life right there in the etymon of spirit. It says life, the animating or vital principle in man and animals. But then when you look at consciousness, consciousness is what? Sense of being active or awake. Active is what? Being animated. Being awake is what? Being aware. Having life, having existence, huh? Sense of active, awake, endowed with active what? Active what? Active mental faculties, meaning abilities. Book of Jehovah 5:3 man is saying this. Tell me, oh great spirit, tell me, oh creator, where did life come from? This unseen within me that is what? This unseen within me that is what? Conscious of being. Conscious of being. Huh? Conscious is mind, is energy, is motion, is action, is expression, is spirit, is life, and are not dependent on corpore to exist. I'm gonna say that one more time. Consciousness is mind, is energy, is motion, is action, is expression, is spirit, is life, and are not dependent on corpore to exist. In fact, we've covered that it's corpore that depends on these qualities to give it value. Huh? Now remember this. Remember earlier, we just read this. Remember the article above made a claim that there would be no conscious experience without the brain. The article above said they made a claim that there would be no conscious experience without the brain. But how could there be no conscious experience without the brain if jellyfish are conscious animals and have no brain? Huh? Jellyfish are conscious animals and have no brain. Huh? Come on, y'all. There's levels to this. There's levels to this, y'all. You see the article? It says jellyfish are smarter than you think. This is a recent article, just about a year. September 22nd, 2023. It's a year-old article. It says jellyfish are more advanced than once thought. A new study from the University of Copenhagen has demonstrated that Caribbean box jellyfish can learn at a much more complex level than ever imagined. And guess what? Right here it says, despite only having 1,000 nerve cells and what? No centralized brain. What is we dealing with? It has no centralized brain. It says what? And look at the next statement, y'all. It says the finding changes our fundamental understanding of the brain and could enlighten us about our own mysterious brains. Look, they still trying to figure it out. They still. What does it mean to learn, y'all? To learn, it means to gain knowledge or understanding of a skill in by study, instruction, or experience. These things are learning and have no brain, but it's conscious. It has intellectual power, it has the capacity for knowledge. To learn is to acquire knowledge. To have knowledge means to have intellect. To have intellect means to have a mind. To have a mind is to have consciousness, thus proving that the mind isn't the physical organ called the brain, and that a brain isn't required for consciousness. But let's take this a step further. Let's take this a step further with this jellyfish. Book of Jehovah, chapter 5, verse 4 states, Jehovah heard the words of man, and he answered him, saying, Let a sign to man, let a sign be given to man so that he may comprehend Simu. Now, we're not going to get into Simu today. But look, and so the great spirit calls the jellyfish, and the green scum of the water to be permanently coming forth in all ages. Pay attention to this. Cause the jellyfish to be permanently coming forth in all ages. What is an age? An age is a length of an existence extending from the beginning to any given time. So that means that the jellyfish has been here since the beginning of the creation of animals on the earth. Check this out. So that man can understand the age of Simu, when the earth and the shores by the water and the waters also were covered over with commingled atmosphere and corporeal substance. The substance was called Simu because by my presence, the great spirit quickened into life, and in that way he made all the living, both the vegetable and the animal worlds. But not that Simu is a jellyfish or the green scum of the water, for in this day the earth does not produce Simu abundantly. Nevertheless, what the jellyfish and the green scum of water are signs of that which was in that day of the earth, the time when the creator had created the living, the vegetable and the animal kingdoms. Okay, pay attention to this, right? Before we get to the source. The great spirit created the jellyfish to be coming forward in all ages, meaning the jellyfish has been here since the very beginning of the creation of the animal world. What do sources say? Check out this source from Wired magazine website. It says what? It says this jellyfish is the earth's oldest animal. Scientists have made a groundbreaking discovery that points to the identification of the first animal. What? How did a waspy get this information? Scientists have made a groundbreaking discovery that points to the identification of the first animal, a type of what? A type of jellyfish, to have lived on Earth approximately 700 million years ago, according to recent study published in the scientific journal Nature. This is a modern day discovery, huh? How did Owaspy know about the jellyfish being the oldest living animal in 1881? Notice the article is calling a jellyfish an animal. So if a jellyfish is an animal, even though it has no brain, but a neural network, would that make the jellyfish a conscious being if animals are conscious? Watch. This is a recent article that states, now look at this headline for a minute. This is a recent article that states this. It says insects and other animals have consciousness, experts declare. Now I'm going to be honest with y'all. I never for once thought in my life that animals and insects and living things were not conscious. I never knew that scientists didn't think that animals weren't conscious. The new declaration signed by who biologists and what philosophers formally embraces that view. It reads in part, the empirical evidence indicates at least a realistic possibility of conscious experience in all vertebrates, including all reptiles, amphibians, and fishes, sea creatures, and many invertebrates, including at minimum cephalopod, mollusks, decapod, crustaceans, and insects. Look at that. Look, inspired by the recent research findings that describe complex cognitive behaviors in these and other animals. The document represents a new consensus, and suggests that researchers may have overestimated the degree of neural complexity required for what? For consciousness. That's right there in Quantum Magazine. That's the source. Uh-oh. Key point. They underestimated the neural complexity required for consciousness. Let's get the chat involved. Let's get the chat involved real quick. How many of y'all really needed these so-called scientists? How many of y'all, and be honest, put a 1 in the chat. If you really needed these so-called scientists to tell you that animals and insects and living things were conscious, put a 1 in the chat. If you really needed them to tell you that, put a 1 in the chat. If you did not, and you just knew on the presence of life on Earth that these things were conscious, put a 4 in the chat for me. If you just knew they were conscious. If you didn't know, put a 1 in the chat. Don't be ashamed. That just goes to show how far ahead we are. Huh? That just goes to show how far ahead you are. Look at this right here. Book of Jehovah's Kingdom, chapter 21, verse 5 through 8. But I am sufficient to all my creations. The ant hears me. Check it out, y'all. The ant hears me, as does the bee, the bird, and the spider, and all kinds of living things which I created. That means that the supreme consciousness is working through them, because what? They have consciousness. How do you think they hear me? Learning to do my will. Do I go to them with the lips and a tongue, or with a trumpet? Look at verse 7. It says what? Verse 7 says what? I am spirit. I am the soul of things. By way of the soul, my voice comes to every living creature that I created. But look, number 8. Number 8 applies to these scientists that didn't even know that animals was conscious. Number 8 says this, but man locks up his soul and will not hear me. Watch this, Lionel, y'all. You said what? I'm gonna put that on the screen, brother, because this is what I'm about to touch on next. I'm gonna put that on the screen for a hot second. Look at what he just said, and watch what we're about to touch on. These so-called scientists didn't have enough common sense in their soul to know that living things possess some degree of consciousness, be it simple or as complex as a human. Check it out. Owaspi Book of Fragapati 16:18, it states, and you created the spider. And you created the spider, O great spirit, and bade him speak to me. The spider said what? The spider said, behold me, O man. I am one with your creator. I move by what? The spirit of things. I move by what? The consciousness of things. I move by what? The light and the mind of things. What does the spider say? The spider says, I build my house by the geometrical figures of the unseen worlds. Do not think that I reason or take lessons from other spiders. Look, the spiders don't take lessons from other spiders or reason with other spiders. It say, I take no lessons. I move by the spirit within me, and it moves me in concert with the spirit of things. What? Outside, external to my created being. Don't know spider take no lessons on how to build its net. Huh? Let's remember the supreme consciousness of the great spirit is the what? The all external. It is from this all external that exists everywhere that we all emerge from. It is from this all external that exists everywhere that we all what? We emerge from this. Meaning that our life, our spirit, our consciousness, our mind came from the outside and what? And focalized inward. Huh? Okay, well, the jellyfish, which has a neural network, but it's about to get heavy. This about to get heavy. The jellyfish, back to the jellyfish, has no brain, but it has a neural network, and that proves that the conscious mind is not dependent on a brain. If the all external conscious mind, as if the all external conscious mind we grew out of exists everywhere, does that mean that the universe is a neural network? Hold on, I'm gonna ask that question again. If the all external conscious mind we emerge from exists everywhere in the universe, does that mean that the universe is a neural network? Hmm? Hmm? Check out the source. June 12th, 2023. Recent source says what? It says the case for why our universe may be a what? A giant neural network. Y'all need to stop this, man. Y'all need to stop it. The case for why our universe may what? Be a what? A giant neural network. The concept of a brain-like universe seeded by pre-Socratic philosopher Anaxagoras is gaining what? Is gaining currency. What? Gaining currency here this day, right now in Kosmon. The cosmos looks remarkably similar to the complete wiring diagram of the brain, and non-local connections could enable computation. Like, check it out. Even Stephen Hawking, y'all know his reputation as a physicist. Even Stephen Hawking saw a path to a new philosophy of physics based on a view of the universe as a what? A self-organizing entity. Hold on, we ain't done. We ain't done. Let me sip this and clear my throat real quick. Hmm? Let's read what the article say. As a new scientific paradigm is emerging that presents us with a radically different cosmic narrative. Hold on. A new scientific paradigm is emerging that presents us with a radically different cosmic narrative. The big idea is that the universe is not just an arbitrary physical system, but something more like an evolving computational or biological system. With properties strikingly similar to a complex adaptive system like an organism of a brain. If this characterization turns out to be accurate, I do not think it is an overstatement to say that it is the most profound paradigm shift in the history of science and philosophy. Pay attention. If true, it raises new existential questions that will force us to do what? To completely rethink the nature of reality. And ideas about whether what the universe has a function or a purpose. I want y'all to keep that in mind. Ideas about what? Whether the universe has a function or a purpose. Here we go. That I might have to my bad. I forgot to, unmute. Okay, my bad. Check it out. Let me start over. It says to know that the universe has a function or a purpose is what it means to be a faithist, y'all. To know that the universe has a function or a purpose is what it means to be a faithist. Darryl Kosmon, why are you saying this? But if we look up faithist in the glossary in Owaspy, it states, one who has faith in Jehovah, the Great Spirit, being over all, within all, to a wise and what definite purpose. What did the article say? It says, if true, it raises new existential questions that will force us to completely rethink the nature of reality and ideas about whether the universe has a function or a purpose. Okay, well, let's read Owaspy and see. Let's read Owaspy and see. Book of Aranathan, chapter 1, verses 8 through 9, and then 20 through 23, it states this. First, then, his living presence, I declare to you that he is now, always was, and ever shall be present in all places, which are worlds without end. The Great Spirit, check this out. Here's my side notes. The Great Spirit has a living presence, meaning that it has a conscious presence. And the Great Spirit's conscious presence pervades the universe. Then it says in verse 9, it says, doing by virtue, listen, it says, doing by virtue of his presence, quickening into life and moving all things onward to a what? To a wise and a definite purpose. Remember the article stated. The article said what? If true, it raises new existential questions that will force us to completely rethink the nature of reality and ideas about whether the universe has a functional or purpose. Here it is in Owaspy telling you what? Telling you what? Doing by virtue of his presence and quickening into life and moving all things to an onward to a wise and a definite purpose. Then I guess what? Guess what, scientists? Then I think it's time that we go right ahead and Go ahead and rethink the nature of reality, because we got it in the WASP that it is living. Y'all. But let's keep it going. WASP Book of Divinity, chapter 1, verse 20 to 23, it states, God said, this also is the Ormazdian law, perpetual growth. As a man being brought forth out of what was not an entity, and that's in regards to a man being non-existent or void before he is existing. That's what this is stating. As a man being brought forth out of what was not an entity, thereby becoming an entity, this then is brought about by what? The Ormazdian law. Ormaz, the great spirit, Jehovah. It's just what our Zarathustrian stock called the great spirit, Ormaz, master light, or the light master. Verse 21, with the capacity in man for life everlasting, with capacity to do what? Capacity to acquire knowledge and power forever, and to never attain to the Almighty. See, it says, like a road on which a man may run in full liberty forever and never come to its end, rejoicing on his journey. This is the Ormazdian law. As the actions of corporeal substances produce light, and as light is the expression and speech of certain corporeal changes, so is Ormaz, the master light, the creator, that which illuminates the soul of man. Making man what, y'all? Making man what? Conscious that he is. Making man conscious that he is, making man express his impressions. This is the Ormazdian law. This is the ever presence that never terminates. Now watch this, y'all. Watch this, y'all. What we've been saying, that we emerge from the mind, we emerge from the consciousness, we emerge from the life, we emerge from the presence of the great spirit, y'all. So that means that what that mean, y'all? Though worlds come into being and go out of being as such, yet Ormaz remains. What is he? He is the forever. And guess what, y'all? Within him, we are within him. Within him, all creations are created, y'all. We are in the mind of the great spirit. We exist in the conscious mind of the great spirit right there. It says within him, all creatures are created. Check out the key points, y'all. We are all within the mind of the great spirit, which is what the universe, which is what its neural network. This whole universe is its neural network. All of creation, moving things onward to a wise and definite purpose, The great spirit is within all of us as individual members of its person and being, The creator created us all. The creator created us and all things with intellect, which requires thought, which requires consciousness. This means our creator is a conscious mind, Again, as I made your corporeal body out of corpore, so out of my light, which is my very self, I built you up in spirit with consciousness that you are, And in likeness of itself, from out of its light, we were built up in spirit with consciousness, Watch this. You say, dang, Darryl, the great spirit really is a consciousness. Okay, well, let's go ahead and tackle that. Let's hit that on the head, Book of Thor 4:14, it states this. The great spirit said, do not think, oh man, that there is only one member of my person, and that different conditions and states of that one comprise my universe. The foolish man has said, the blood is the flesh, and the blood is the flesh and bones, and the flesh and bones are simply a state of blood. But he does not see that I do not make flesh out of blood, but out of that which the blood carries. And guess what, y'all? Look at this. In the same way, I carry the corpore of my person in the ether, or the eth of my being. I'm going to say that one more time before we break it down. And in the same way, I carry the corpore of my person in the eth of my being. What does being mean in the Merriam-Webster dictionary? Conscious existence, life. So let's state that again so that it hits differently. In the same way, I carry the corpore of my person. Sorry. In the same way, I carry the corpore of my person in the ether of what? My conscious existence. In the ether of my life. I'm telling y'all, we emerged from the universe. Huh? Hmm. What else is this saying though? Let's get deeper into this verse right here. This is saying that, well, look here, this is saying this. Quantum physics or quantum mechanics is the microbiology of cosmogony. I'm going to say that one more time, y'all. Quantum physics or quantum mechanics is the microbiology of cosmogony. Well, girl, Kosmon, what do you mean when you say that? That quantum physics or quantum mechanics is the microbiology of cosmogony, huh? Microbiology is what? It's the study of living organisms. Microbiology is the study of living organisms that are too small to be visible with the naked eye. This includes what? Bacteria, archaea, or I hope I said that the right way. Viruses, fungi, prions, protozoa, and algae, collectively known as what? Microbes. That's short for what? Microorganisms. These microbes play key roles in nutrient cycling, biodegeneration, biodeterioration, climate change, food spoilage. You get the idea. Now check this out. A quintessential arena of science, quantum physics, is a term that's recognized by most, but misunderstood by few. Also known as what? Also known as what? Quantum mechanics or quantum theory. The name describes a fundamental branch of physics a fundamental branch of physics that explains the nature and behavior of matter and energy at a what? At an atomic and a subatomic level. Okay, so let's put that together. Microbes or microorganisms are fundamental living organisms the same way atoms and electrons are fundamental building blocks of what? The material world. What does it mean to be fundamental? It means serving as an original generating source. Huh? So the same way the blood carries microscopic living organisms in the blood that build and sustain the body is the same way ether, space, carries atomic or subatomic particles that build and sustain matter in the universe. Huh? So that was just a little quick breakdown on that verse, but this is something that we're going to revisit later on in the presentation, because watch how it connects in the end. Huh? All corporeal substance is the great spirit's person, its bodily appearance, much like how our corporal bodies are our physical representation of our person. Huh? What is a person? A person is what? Bodily appearance. Being is what? Conscious existence, life. Spirit is what? An animating or vital principle held to give life to physical organisms. Huh? Check out Book of Knowledge, chapter 4, verse 26. It states, this then is the genesis of the cycles. First, the great spirit and his times, and all created things from without a beginning. And the great spirit was what? The unseen, which is what? The spirit. And the seen, which is what? His person, his body. Y'all see that? Y'all see the explanation in the WASP? The unseen is what? The spirit. And the seen is what? His person, his body. Huh? So here we go, y'all. What have we learned thus far? Let's go ahead and do a quick little run through before we take a quick little break. The great spirit created us out of intellect with intellect. That's intelligence. Hold on, let me clear my throat. The Great Spirit created us out of intellect, with intellect, intelligence, huh? Intellect is the power of knowing, Mind is intellectual ability. Consciousness is what I shouldn't say associated with mind, but it is. Consciousness is associated with mind, but is a phenomenal feature of the mind. To use intellect requires knowing, which requires thought. All of which what requires consciousness. I did state it here. Consciousness is a phenomenon of the mind. The Great Spirit is a thinking, knowing, intellectual, intelligent, conscious mind. Mind and brain are two different entities, but are interconnected entities, meaning they are one. Mind or consciousness is the unseen entity, which is potent. Huh? Brain is the seen entity, which of itself is impotent. Consciousness is not dependent on the brain. Proof being in the existence of the conscious jellyfish that has no brain organ but does have a neural network. As a result, scientists who have studied the behavior of animals and insects admitted that they even underestimated the neural complexity required for consciousness. The article above says that scientists like Stephen Hawking even saw a path to a new philosophy of physics based on the view that the universe is a self-organizing entity, thus meaning that it is conscious and aware of itself and all things, The article further says that if true, it raises new existential questions that will force us to completely rethink the nature of reality and ideas about whether the universe has a function, or a purpose. But over 120 years ago, the Great Spirit through a Ospie already made it clear in the Book of Aranathan, in the Book of Aranathan, chapter 1. Check it out. It said, "First in his living presence, I declare to you that he is now, always was, ever shall be present in all places," meaning it pervades the universe. Worlds without end. Then it says, "doing by virtue of its presence, quickening into life, and moving all things onward to a wise and a definite purpose." Because we're already in the mind, which is the being of a universal neural network of the universal neural network of the Great Spirit. Owaski Book of Divinity 123, it states, "Though worlds come into being and go out of being as such, yet Ormaz remains. He is the forever, and within him all creations are created." Thus proving that the Great Spirit, which is all things seen and unseen in reality, is the conscious existence, the consciousness moving the universe, its purpose and being toward a wise and definite purpose, and is the source to which we receive our individual supply of consciousness. Y'all, it's about to get deeper, Take a break for a second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab me some water and go hit that bathroom for a minute. Where did my
Hey, if y'all enjoy what y'all hearing, come on over to Creator Gang TV, man. Link pinned to the top of the chat. Dig. I'm about to end it right here. Y'all come on through, man. Like, subscribe, share. Tap in with the gang. Love.